So today is Wednesday, the 24th, I believe, of September. And I was just watching Tim on The Bulwark, while listening to him, talking about Megyn Kelly, and how Tim, did not relish or brag or laugh at anybody who was mourning the loss of Charlie Kirk. And I want to get better at cam talking, so I'm picking a topic that I'm really confident about, and that is that I am not happy that Charlie Kirk is dead. I am the you that Megan keeps talking about. However, you, which meaning me, people who voted against Trump, aren't made better with any of this violence. We are the people who choose to avoid violence, and sometimes that's not even a good thing. Because, if I had done a better job of telling Bob no, I wouldn't be here at this residence that I don't know where I'm actually at. But I do know that Park Rose Permaculture is a few blocks away, and that makes me feel so much safer. I sent a post an email saying that I am not made better by Charlie Kirk. It doesn't matter who killed Charlie Kirk. It doesn't matter which way the bullet went in. It doesn't matter if he was wearing belly armor or not. What matters is that somebody died. Somebody's child, somebody's father, somebody's husband. And Trump, even at his funeral, when his wife was forgiving the man who killed her husband, whether or not he's the man that's been accused. And Trump said, Trump's all about vengeance. The Middle East is our fault. We are the people giving money to Israel. Then Israel is giving money back to some of our people here at the States to promote giving money to Israel. And Charlie Kirk was in a university commons area. I like to think that my kids would be safe in such a place. I'd like to think Charlie Kirk would have been safe in such a place. And the irony of him talking about the very gun laws that allowed for his execution, assassination, whatever you want to call it. I mean, he said that it justifies the laws that he wanted, and I quite frankly say that it doesn't. Our Second Amendment in my educational history wasn't amended for us to have arms against each other. It was amended so that we would be able to bring arms against our government. And it's hard to know who the good guys are right now. I get that. But the only way we fix that is by being the good guys. We can't join the bad guys. It doesn't make the world better for us to join the bad guys. It makes the world better when we choose to do good, knowing there are bad guys out there. Now, I have to figure out if I want to file a police report against Bob. And I had planned on doing that today, but I found out yesterday I have a little bit more time to decide. And I am going to spend today thinking about it, because keeping secrets isn't the solution either. When I came back from Japan, I didn't come back to the same place I left. And they talked about when we left how there's more of a culture impact, I guess, on the way back. Culture shock is, I guess, what they called it. because it's not what we left. When you go to a new place, you know it's going to be new. When you go home, you kind of expect it to be familiar. And when I came back from Japan, I was introduced to Christian nationalism. I was introduced to the people who set out, not caring which party it was, whether it be Republicans or Democrats or somebody else altogether. How do we get a Confederate flag in the White House? Why a Confederate flag? Well, the flag of the rising sun is antithetical to the current Japanese flag, some would say. The Confederate flag in 1992 was the obvious choice because it was the opposite of the American flag, or at least so it seemed to the people who cared. I always thought it was just a flag, just some colors. I didn't study colors until my excommunication. And what was my excommunication for? Reporting violence. What was the violence? It was from Bob and Alex against my sons. And I have been punished way more for reporting that violence than either of them ever could possibly face now for what they actually did to us, my community, my church. And the blowback, I understand it's not my brother's fault about, what exactly is happening in the Middle East. But at the same time, when you are feeding the paranoia, when you're feeding the terrorism, when you're feeding all these apocryphalic predictions. I mean, my brother's been predicting the end of the world since 1992. I mean, I think he predicted Clinton would be assassinated. He predicted Mount Hood would blow up. I'm a little distracted, sorry about the interruption, but I knew real from fiction. And for some reason, when I went into the ICU because I couldn't breathe, Bob was able to convince a whole bunch of people that is evidence of a mental illness. So what do I do now when our government's gone amok? I'm not sure yet. Today I'm going to think about it. And I'm going to get better at camera talking because my children deserve to know who I am. Why am I hated? Tony's mom went through people hating her. She identified herself as a Russian gypsy whore. And I laughed. I mean, I knew her for a while before she said that, but I am the you that Megyn Kelly is bashing on. And the only reason she's bashing on this set of you instead of the other set of you is because that's where she makes her money. How many opinions are being told? How many opinions aren't being told by someone who is influencing others for financial gain? It's kind of an interesting game that we end up in, and I'm not sure what to do about it. However, I'm in a safe place. I don't know my address. I don't have a lease. I don't know what's happening next. But I do know that I'm not going to become the bad guy, and I'm not going to stop speaking the truth. So maybe we better figure out how to learn to live with each other, which we should have done in 1992 when, Christian nationalists started this mess in my life anyways. If you are a Christian nationalist or love a Christian nationalist, I would love to hear how we can help you, because that stuff is just batshit crazy. Antifa are the people who were against the Nazis during World War II. The Antifa in Oregon and Pacific Northwest and all of Cascadia, even Canada, and frankly all the way around the world. The word is anti-fascism. I am an fascist. I do not have a weapon more than my tongue. I do not have assets worth bothering anybody about. I do not have, I have no intentions of causing any kind of illegal. I mean, I was illegally, civilly disobedient one time in my life. That was it. All right. So you have yourself a good day. I'm going to be talking to the camera more. And this is just going to be a place where I work things out in my head. And I make it available to you because I don't have a way of making it available to my children without making it available to strangers. I don't know where my children live. I don't have contact information for them. I have a mother who, for the first time in years, finally acknowledged and said out loud that me reporting her son's violence was more dangerous than the violence that my children were enduring, even with a hospital involved, because diabetes complicates everything. Even with OHSU involved, my mother believes still, in 2025, that reporting life-threatening violence against a child is worse than the violence against that child. And my mom is 70. She's earned her opinions, and frankly, I've turned 50. I've earned mine. So we're going to have to disagree on that one for a very long time, maybe forever. But if it were my sons I was it was my sons I was protecting, I don't know. See, if my child, when I had the one occasion to turn my child in for doing something that we had to turn in, I did so. When her son was killing mine with the blessing of her other son, I was put on the street right after the ICU because it is unkind to report violence. So I'm not going to be the person who is going to be pro, what do you call it when you kill somebody by the state? Compulsory punishment, whatever the death penalty is. Anyways, I am not pro-death penalty. I am not sure how our judicial system is going to look in another couple decades, but it can't look like it is now. I have been to jail one time in my life, and I ended up with a brain injury. I never knew so many horrible things happening at the same time. And all I'm going to do is talk about them. I'm not going to hurt anybody. I'm going to give my opinions. I'm not as popular as Jimmy Kimmel. I'm pretty sure Disney isn't going to care who I am. But the Bulwark is speaking more truth than Megyn Kelly. That I know to be true. I'm going to keep watching the Bulwark because I think Tim gets it. I've had a lot of Tims in my life. I have a stepbrother named Tim that isn't talking to me, understandably, because my brother committed treason. I had an Uncle Tim. I had my sister married and divorced a Tim. And oddly enough, I miss all of them because we were all invested in the same family. And now we're not even invested in each other as Americans. So this is not my bogging down on everybody. This is me saying, Tim at the Bulwark, I see you. Megyn Kelly, I'm not watching you. And that's enough rambling for somebody who can't even see herself ramble.